Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
It's time for another daily dose of Dismal Disney. This time with hot Bob on Bob action.
That's right.
We're going to talk about the Battle of the Bobs. There was an article in the Hollywood Reporter a couple of days ago talking about or illustrating the management style differences.
Yeah, there's a stark difference in styles.
Stark difference between Iger and Chapek. And Chapek, as we've said before, has gotten a reputation for being Chapek. He does budget cut stuff.
Well, I just think it's funny because when we call out about Disney and their price gouging and a lot of their money and all this bullshit, we get called names and we get picked on. I just want to point out they have Black Widow here with ka-ching on it.
Ka-ching.
And it's okay when the Hollywood Reporter does it. But we've been doing it before it was trendy.
There you go. We've been hating Disney since before it was trendy to hate Disney.
That's right.
Anyway, we're going to talk about this hot Bob on Bob action and why it's being said that, Iger was warning new Bob. Old Bob warned new Bob, don't rely solely on data when choosing projects.
Well, I don't disagree with that. But the thing we have going on here is you have Bob Iger on one side, who is very Hollywood and up his own ass and very arrogant and overspending on things. Mm-hmm. And, the money was flowing way too freely. And then you have on the other side, Bob Chapek, who is called Chapek for a reason and relies too heavily on numbers, and he's, price gouging and everything else. So you do have, to be honest, I don't think either extreme is good. I think you need someone in the middle.
Yeah, what they need are more creative people at Disney. And it's interesting, in this article, the one thing I zeroed in on was that they admitted that all of their creative talent are leaving. There's
I can't blame them.
Yeah, massive brain drain at Disney, and sometimes they leave on their own. Sometimes they get pushed out the damn door.
Why the heck would you? How many live action reboots of animated shows do you need? If you want to make new things, Disney's not the place for you, apparently.
No. And we're seeing a lot of people leave Disney for greener pastures. Again, some of them willingly, some of them getting pushed out the damn door. In the case of like Joe Rohde, I still think he was pushed out. I think he was pushed out, and I think he was too expensive. And they pushed him out.
There was some weirdness around that one.
In the case of John Lasseter, well, there's that whole mess that went on, and now he's over at Skydance. And I've seen the trailers for some of the Skydance stuff. It actually looks really good. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens, but we're going to talk about that. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Over 236,000 subs. Thank you for the support. We do talk a lot about Disney, having worked in and around the company for years.
I have a blog.
Yep.
I hate it so much that I have a blog.
Running piratesandprincesses.net.
We used to have media access. That's how much we hated Disney.
Used to eat with these people.
I know. I'm rolling my eyes and dripping with sarcasm as I say it. I hate it so much.
The thing is that, and I've said before, Disney actually has a lot of good people working for them. Mm-hmm. But as a collective, lately the company's been getting collectively stupid. Mm-hmm. And they were for a while getting really stupid. Collectively greedy, getting really stupid with money, stupid in how they're treating their employees, and stupid how they're treating creatives. But this article is out there. Hollywood Reporter, I gotta love this image. The ghost of Bob overlooking new Bob, who looks kind of like Lex Luthor here.
Oh.
Darth Vader scratching his head because he's like, what the hell happened to Star Wars?
But it's like old Disney Plus, because all they care about. He cares about Disney Plus.
Yeah, it's all Disney Plus. But
to be fair, that was Iger who started that.
That was, yeah.
So if we're going to be fair.
But, that tells you in how much disarray this company actually is, because right after it launches, Kevin Mayer, the guy who was in charge of it, he bolts.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of people I think felt like they were overlooked for the next CEO position and left. But I like it. They have Walt looking really concerned. They have Mickey looking really concerned.
I know, right?
Vader scratching his head. Black Widow has ka-ching written next to her.
Ka-chow. Ka-ching. 18 months into the media's most consequential transition.
Which was weird to begin with.
It was very weird. It was like, hey, by the way.
It was like, boom, done. And when they had the interview, it was not like somebody who willingly stepped down.
Yeah.
He looked like someone had kicked his puppy, and then Chapek looked like a deer in the headlights, like, holy shit, what do I do? Yeah. That was not a transition that was planned.
Yep. So this is kind of a damning article. Disney's respected ex-CEO lingers while successor Bob Chapek provokes anxiety as he moves aggressively to reshape the Magic Kingdom. And I think a lot of this prompted by the Scarlett Johansson, because he basically, look, Bob Iger was 100% Hollywood. That guy was a Hollywood guy. Chapek is like an accountant. He comes in and
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, you cost a lot of money.
And I don't think, yeah, pretty much. I don't think either extreme is wise in leadership, moving forward. But here we go.
Yeah, so in June, Disney's board and top management flew to the company's Aulani Resort in Hawaii for their annual retreat. Bob Iger's last official appearance at such a gathering. With retirement looming, former theme park and resort chief Bob Chapek had taken the reins as CEO, and this was the first time in 15 years that Iger would not be presiding. Iger decided to open the meeting by offering his parting advice.
Oh, this is funny.
Don't let the door hit you on the way out. A longtime critic of over-reliance on market research rather than instinct and taste. This is the guy who let Kathleen Kennedy do whatever the hell she wanted with Star Wars.
And he had to say he was sorry.
Yep. He made an inspirational plea for the value of talent. So that's what this is about. Scarlett Johansson.
Value of talent, right. But meanwhile, you have a lot of talented cast members who you don't even give enough money to live on in like California and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why people come to the parks.
Right,
These
right.
cast members.
He touched on the challenges of managing creators, but stressed that every transaction at Disney parks, consumer products, movies, and television starts with creativity.
And overspending.
Overspending.
It costs a lot of money to buy Fox and Star Wars and Marvel and Pixar and...
So this is coming from Bob Iger, who assimilates and doesn't really innovate.
But he's going to tell everybody else about creativity.
He is. In a world and business that is awash with data, it's tempting to use data to answer all of our questions, including creative questions.
I don't think he knows what creative means.
Data, like the original trilogy always outsells the sequel trilogy.
Yeah, or data, like, maybe we shouldn't keep making live action movies of, animated ones because people aren't really into it.
Yeah, maybe. I urge all of you not to do that. Don't listen to the numbers. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart. Listen to your heart.
There's nothing else you can do. I don't know where you're going, and I don't know why. But listen to your heart before you tell Bob goodbye.
If Disney had relied too heavily on data, he noted the company might have never made big breakthrough movies like Black Panther, Coco, Shang-Chi, and The Legend of the Ten Rings.
Wait. That's implying that this is douchey. He's implying that had we listened to data, we wouldn't have made diverse movies. That's what he's basically saying, like that the data indicated that they wouldn't do well. Well, then your data was flawed because no one ever said that Black Panther or Coco, wouldn't have done well. Shang-Chi, I said no one knew who the character was. People knew who Black Panther was. So
this is really interesting because I don't think Bob Iger picked Bob Chapek. I think the board.
Oh, I already knew that.
The board picked Bob Chapek because again, the two of them did not seem comfortable together on CNBC.
No.
Bob Iger looked like somebody had kicked his puppy.
That's what I said. Chapek looked like a deer in the headlights. Like, oh shit.
Though no outsiders were present, chatter about Iger's talk soon began to seep through Hollywood. His words were interpreted as a shot at Chapek. Though a 28-year Disney veteran who most recently had overseen the theme parks and resorts, Chapek was an outsider in Hollywood. Known for cutting costs and raising prices.
Okay, Iger's known for, overspending and lacking creativity.
But he's good about creativity. I was so creative when I bought other people's IP and
ruined it.
And ruined them. I was so creative. He was regarded by many with distrust, if not hostility. So the version of the board retreat that made the rounds had Iger showing up Chapek, who was said to have followed Iger's remarks by declaring in blunt terms that, in fact, Disney was now a data-driven company. It sent chills through Hollywood.
Well, a lot of people said that's not exactly how it went down. But beyond that, this kind of does, if you listen to him in his investor calls, he's talking about all these new things they have and how they have data on you and they're going to track you everywhere so they can better tailor your experiences to you, which translates to how they can present it to you in a way that you'll spend more money.
Yeah. But that is, I guess what I can give Chapek credit for is being honest, because that is...
He is honest.
Pretty much every company. Mm-hmm. They're not lying to you. Hollywood lies to you and tells you, well, we're doing this to be good people, but in reality, there's an ulterior motive, always. But it's also saying a chill through Hollywood because, look at it from the point of view of people who are maybe using Hollywood for activism. Maybe that activism isn't financially profitable. But
you know what, though? A lot of these choices that are being made that are coming out now with like these diversity inclusion groups and all that crap for Disney, that was under Iger.
Yeah.
Iger greenlit that stuff.
Yep.
That was, so all the things he's like throwing shade at, he was kind of behind that.
Yeah. And Chapek, I think once this stuff runs its course, he's going to be like, what do consumers actually want? Mm-hmm. The only problem with that is it might be that we don't have more creativity at Disney because it's going to be safe bets, sequels to this. And
that's just Hollywood in general. But here's the thing. I think we need somebody who is creative enough to take some risks and try some new things, but is also, data-driven enough to be like, what do people actually want?
Yeah. Yeah. So sources who attended the meeting said that Chapek did not make a bold declaration. They say he was merely being himself, a numbers-oriented, bottom-line focused businessman, lacking creative experience and without Iger's polish and flair. It's gonna take some getting used to because Disney was freewheeling, free spending, up Hollywood's ass.
Oh yeah, Iger was totally up Hollywood's ass.
And this is a very different Disney. But the thing is that as critical as we've been of Chapek, this might be what Disney needs because they almost lost everything.
That's true, but he's taking it too far the other way, yeah. I think that's the problem. They both are two extremes. They're both named Bob, but they're completely opposite. And you need somebody not named Bob, probably, in the middle that's actually like gonna, bridge both.
Yep. So they talked about the reorganization, which, Chapek did almost immediately. It's like, we're going to reorganize.
But that saved the company.
Yeah.
It totally did save it.
Even as Iger lingered, Iger wouldn't leave. He's like, yep, you're my replacement, but I'm going to hang around for another year or two, make sure you're doing it the way I would do it.
It's like a bad fart. I'm just saying. Dinner's long gone, but it's still there.
Beef. What was for dinner? Chapek moved quickly to seize control, reorganizing the company in a way that diminished the power of some key Iger lieutenants as others have exited.
As soon as Iger got the stuff, they all started jumping in the ship, like the rats started fleeing the ship.
Well, it's interesting because we did a video before talking about now the new thing is that these executives are going to be judged on their year-to-year performance. And there's speculation that means that people like, Kathleen Kennedy could potentially, maybe possibly, get gone at some point because, Star Wars is going to have to perform.
Yeah, basically things have to perform.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's going to be thrown out in their ass, but I think it might not be to their advantage to stick around because there is going to be a lot of penny pinching and every decision is going to be questioned.
And and if you're someone who likes to go to the parks, just prepare to spend more money because they're going to make sure of it.
Yeah. This was really interesting, though. One former high-level Disney executive said every creative person is leaving or losing power. We did a video on that before, too. They're all leaving. Like, everybody's leaving Disney.
They are. They're fleeing.
Because I think they realize, like, Disney is going to be this way for possibly forever. Because a lot of the really creative people, Disney's very corporate. They're very corporate.
When they had like things like they were calling Chapek, because when they had things they were expecting for the parks, these expansions, it was usually Bob Chapek who cut it down and pulled it back to like not as grand as it should have been and cut budgets and tied the hands of Imagineers. That was him before getting made CEO. So. Yeah.
They said Chapek basically answers to the shareholders, and they saw this with the push into streaming and how Disney dealt with Scarlett Johansson. And so, it's definitely a different style. I mean, Chapek is trying to run the company like tech, I'd say a tech firm, but I think tech firms are even a little more.
Yeah, they're a little more creative.
So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens.
Of course, it is the board because they just want money.
Yeah.
That's all they care about. And Iger, as much as he was bringing in, he was spending and he overspent on Fox, and he was spending a lot of money on Disney Plus, which in fairness saved, Disney during the pandemic. But, they're looking at it as, well, we want money. We want money. That's what they care about. How they're going to get more money.
This was interesting. This is somebody in Hollywood said this, the producer said, the thing about Hollywood is you can behave badly. You can be rude. You can make duds, but the thing you cannot do is fuck with people's money.
Doesn't surprise me one iota.
You just don't do that and hide behind technology is the reason why. So, I knew the Scarlett Johansson thing was going to be a much, much bigger deal, especially when they dropped her salary.
Yeah, they should never have done that.
It was like $20 million. You got paid plenty. Get the hell out of here. I was like, whoa. But I think this is a new reality. I think basically studios are going to be tech companies at this point. I think they're going to, the new reality is you're not going to have a bunch of, billion-dollar movies. You're going to have a bunch of smaller successes on streaming, and people are going to be paid accordingly. And that's how it's going to work. And Disney owns so much now. It's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, and they do, and they own all that because of Iger.
Yeah.
So, now moving forward, you have to make it, all be worth it.
Yep. So it sounds like they're basically trying to take Hollywood's side in this, but it's going to be really interesting to see.
Imagine that, the Hollywood Reporter says Hollywood side.
I know, right? It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out because a lot of people, I have to wonder if they're going to steer clear of Disney now, especially after the ScarJo.
Oh, in Hollywood?
Yeah.
I know that Disney's going to run into problems here soon with the way they keep, overpricing everything, that people are just going to steer clear in general because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and he's not going to ease up on that as long as people are willing to pay a premium to go to Disney World, to go to parks.
Oh, and they will. If you're on the board, which I am, they're like, fine, less line for me. It's like, oh, go, have fun.
I'm rich and stupid.
Yeah, basically,
Oh my God. I love to pay 2 to 3 times market value.
It's the magic.
It's the magic. It's the magic of my never-ending supply of money.
If anybody complains about anything, like, oh, hey, I noticed the bathrooms weren't as clean as they used to be or something. How dare you? When they descend, it's funny to watch. I sit there with popcorn, like, here it comes.
That child's shitty diaper just enhances my appreciation of the magic outside the bathroom.
That's right.
There for a reason.
It's a family place. If you don't like kids, don't go.
God. All right, we're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. I'll put a link to this article in the comments. You can check it out for yourself. Talk to you later.
Bye.